Call Loyum Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock. And Shalom and salutation to you brothers out here that are pushing the words of truth and sincerity. I'm Rapah Math, and Baratazah. This video will be short, to the point, and understandable. So let's get right into it. Current events. As I scroll through my phone, I'm going to be looking for some of the latest news and just sharing my thoughts before I grab some scripture. Okay, so in Brazil, you have a new election. You have the out with the old, in with the new. I think this nationalist guy is no longer around. It says Bolsonaro supporter crying after the election in Brazil. So there's been some elections in Brazil. Yeah, I guess they have a lot of political extremist values over there as well in Brazil. I'm not sure if the new guy in is somewhat of an extremist, but I can see that the wave of the people, especially Israelites, but really the wave and the vibration of the earth is really going to extremes. You know, the middle grounds and where we used to meet at, and everybody was more functional, and even if the other party won, you wouldn't go home and cry, and you wouldn't try to ravage the city, protest and go crazy. Well, that's just a sign of the times. We are headed towards an increasing amount of discomfort, an increasing amount of distortion, an increasing amount of chaos, right? Similar to the Trump situation over here in the U.S., where when he lost this election, which a lot of people were led to believe that it was a fraudulent election. You know, we have similar sentiments here at, at Great Millstone, but we don't get too caught up into election because we're not fooled by Satan's devices, of the whole two parallel dichotomies scheme, East versus West, blue versus red. You are where you are and you believe in what you believe in. And your philosophy shouldn't be dictated by what your parents are. You should come to a rationality that you belong to a certain class of people, a certain nation of people, a certain heritage. And there's a fallacy that everything your parents tell you is the truth, when the scriptures tell you otherwise. It says ye have inherited lies. Your fathers have inherited lies. So if your fathers inherit lies, that means you have inherited that same lie. And we can call it critical thinking all you want, but really it's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua working on his elect to pull away from certain ways and customs of the past. But that's what's going on in Brazil. This is recent as 2 hours ago. Russia is still launching missiles. It looks like one fell in the Republic of Moldova, and I guess Russia also took down some serious bridges. They're trying to break down their infrastructure because they're backing up. They're getting backed up by the Ukrainian army, which is it's basically a proxy war between NATO and Russia right now, because NATO countries are arming Ukraine. So Russia's, they're running short, they're running low, they're scraping up men wherever they can, and this might mean they might need extra help. And in knowing the scriptures in Ezekiel telling you how, the Persians, Libya, and and we understand that Russia will get backed up by certain nations. Russia in the scriptures, Ezekiel 38, is chief prince of Tubal and Meshach. All right, and so they do get help to further the furtherance in the much of the host of the battle. towards World War III. So yeah, Russia is still trying to take complete control over Ukraine at the moment, and this war has been going on for at least the entire year. It doesn't look like it's coming to an end any soon, as missiles continue to fly, and new weaponry is being dragged into Ukraine from different NATO countries. So that situation is already alarming, and it's going to continue. Those are the big two. Yeah, so Brazil election, it looks like he won by 1 point. The vote was 50%, 50.9% to 49.1. So the country's basically split in half on these values. You had a bridge collapse in India, killing 45. And then they have video of 24 hours before the collapse, young people kicking the bridge and walking across the bridge, jumping on it, dancing on it, weakening it. And this is all the news, international, mainly international news, the news that we don't hear of. So more Russian bombardment with missiles. And yeah, a lot of war. Everywhere you look, there's war going on. So I want to grab some scriptures and dealing with how the Lord is in control of war, and so we can understand that we are in the Lord's time. We are in a time where the Most High is mustering the host of the battle, which is one of my favorites. Let me get that real quick. This is Isaiah 13, and begin at 4. Straight to the point. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. I'm going to real quick bring that out in the NLT. It says, hear the noise on the mountains. Listen as the vast armies march. It is the noise of a shouting of many nations. The Lord of heaven's armies has called this army together. It says in the next verse, well, as a matter of fact, let me jump down to verse. Okay, I see what happened. Yeah, give me a second. In the next verse, the very next verse, it says, verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. So we understand that the Most High is ordering his sentences against mankind, if you will, through war. And war devastates, war breaks down, war destroys. War is loud and noisy. And the Lord makes a complete chaotic situation. All right. This is Isaiah 22:5. For it is a day of trouble, and of treading down, and of perplexity by the Lord of power of hosts in the valley of vision, breaking down the walls, and of crying by the mountains. So you can see there's a destruction of cities the Most High is completely with. And that destruction comes from on high. Jeremiah 50:2, declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. Babylon is America in the scriptures. It's referring to America, a nation just like people can be reborn, meaning reincarnated. The vibration, the spirit of that nation can be reincarnated into another nation that takes on the same principles, ideologies, structure of that previous nation. That's why America is also likened unto Rome, the second leg of Rome, right? Where that wound was healed in Revelations, And so America and these places are confounded, and they're confounded by being destroyed. It says, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her. And that's good, dealing with the Medes, the Russians. Where's Russia located? In the north. Other side of the globe, eastern hemisphere, but in the north of China. Which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. So you're going to have a situation where this escalates all the way up into thermonuclear war. See, Russia, they have submarines, they have jets, they have military, they have help. All right, they have hypersonic missiles, and they're going to use them. Jeremiah 50 and 20. Let me say Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land, and of a great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among nations? And so America, known as the hammer of the earth, because America has over 1,000 military and 1,000 embassies, 1,000 military bases outside of the U.S., over 1,000, and over 300 embassies in different lands, foreign countries. But it goes to war with, and it has little seizes, and has little, drops, drone bombings in different countries from its existence, man. I mean, as soon as World War II ended, America has been prevalent in different skirmishes with different countries. It's the hammer of the earth. And I'm going to look that word up real quick, hammer, and see what interlinear is going to give me. It's from the Hebrew word patshish, or rather patyash, forge, hammer, figurative of Babylon as destroyer. Okay, figurative as a devastator, i.e. a devastator. Okay, and so the nation is regarded as that great devastator, Babylon. Verse 4 says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken. O Babylon, thou wast not aware, thou art found, and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. The Lord hath opened his armory. All right, and an armory, of course, is a place where weapons are kept, and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. The word indignation means anger and annoyance provoked by what is perceived as unfair treatment, right? Indignation, anger and annoyance provoked by what is considered unfair treatment. For this is the work of the Lord of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. So we understand now, this is definitely the Most High's usage of his nations to commit to war, seize nations, destroy places, because it's in the Most High's will to do so. Verse 40 says, as Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. So Babylon is going to be a complete wasted, utterly wasted land. All right, utterly wasted land. Jeremiah 51:11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shells. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, Russia, for his devices against Babylon, America, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord. Vengeance, vengeance. Look that word up. It means punishment inflicted or retribution exacted for an injury or wrong. What is the wrong? How they've done what they've done against the Lord's people, the apple of his eye. You took us into slavery, you burdened us, you inflict us. We just had a video on the GMS Classic Kings podcast with the UK brothers, brothers from GMS England. Spoke about certain events that they never taught you in America because they happened on British soil, but they were American white forces attacking American black forces during World War II. We have similar events that happened in France in World War I with black troops from America. And so, as you can see, the Lord takes vengeance for his people. He was wronged because his people was wrong. He's going to lift up that standard against America through his men, through nations, and this place will be smitten and torn down. Thus saith the Bible. Hey, so I brought this out. This was edifying. Till next time, shalom.